Good morning. What's your 1%? There we go. We started one with the title for the first time ever. Happy birthday to you. Welcome to the first day of the rest of your life, because every day is your birthday if you choose to celebrate life. And isn't it beautiful out here? Today we have the sun in the sky just up there. There we go. The sun is poking through. Blue skies, obviously, up there. Not that necessarily makes it a good day, because every day is a good day to be alive. You're woken up, you're watching this, you'll have a device in your hand. Isn't life wonderful? I've just realised, well, first of all, okay, all right, we're going to do the happy birthday things in a minute. We're going to find you 1%. However, turned up to rubbish. And you'll notice I'm back to my normal place. So I was talking yesterday about how this was the dodgy place, the children's area, which somebody reported me for being out here with a camera. But I think at 8 o'clock in the morning, there's not going to be any children around here for anybody to worry about. So I reckon if I come out here early enough, I'm going to be absolutely fine. I need to stop telling myself the negative stories about these things. But the children, obviously, or at least somebody, young adults at least anyway, were here last night, making a bit of a mess. And I do love the fact that they leave all their rubbish just there when there's a bin just there. And I've also just noticed that clearly somebody has been writing interesting words on the play equipment, and it wasn't me at all, obviously. Yeah. They can't even spell some of those rude words. But there you go. Joyful anyway all around. Happy birthday, everybody. How are you doing? Welcome to the first day of your life. Happy Friday, first day of the rest of your life. There you go. What a phenomenal time to be alive, as Nick James would say. So today we are going to talk about your 1% in a moment, but we're going to start off by wishing everybody a happy birthday. Of course, we're going to wish a happy birthday to Dean, Joy, Suzanne, Peter, Kevin, Toni, Tracey, Iain, Malcolm and Neil, because all their birthdays are today. So we're going to wish them a happy birthday. We're also going to wish you a happy birthday, the viewer, today, because of course it is the first day of the rest of your life, as we said before. We're going to do that by blowing out the candle on one cake, thinking about what are we going to do, this one thing we're going to do in the next 24 hours before you see my video again tomorrow morning. Or if you want to do this every hour, you can do this every hour, but blow out that candle. What are you going to do? One thing you're going to do. I'm going to work out what my 1% is and start doing them more often, and I'll tell you more about that in a minute. Then breathe in for 5 through your nose. This hand goes on your heart. Hold for 5 while you light your candles, and then blow your candles out. That gets oxygen into your lungs, allows it to change with the carbon dioxide, gets that oxygen into your blood, oxygen into your brain, allows you to think more carefully. You want to do that 5 times really, ideally, and you want to do that 5 times on the hour, every hour, even better. Figure out what your one thing is you're going to do in the next hour, fantastic. And then you're going to sort your day out. You're going to do this 1% thing we're going to talk about in a minute to move you through your day, give yourself more self-confidence, and achieve your goals in a quicker time than you might have thought otherwise. There's people recording videos over there. I don't know, I'm going to get in trouble for that. They're walking their dogs, who knows. Anyway, so maybe somebody walking over now as well. I don't know if they're doing talk about it as well. We'll see. Anyway, happy birthday to Dean, Joy, my Auntie Joy. It was lovely to see happy birthday to my Auntie Joy. It's your birthday today. So you can see how nervous I am when I'm standing here now with people walking around, just half waiting for somebody to say, what do you think you're doing? I'm recording a video. I'm talking to myself, as we talked about yesterday. I'm talking to myself. I'm not really talking to myself, obviously. Anyway, there you go. Life, isn't it? Fun, etc. Right, so what's your 1%? What is your 1%? So this comes from the Ent-spresso. Oh, by the way, the top 10 is Lewis Howe's, very good, well worth listening to. And the book of the day is what we learn from history, or why can't we learn from history, which is really cool because we're going to talk about that a little bit as well. So I just want to let you know about that. But this actually all comes from the top 10, the Ent-spresso from Evan Carmichael, which was inspired by Jordan Peterson. Where you're basically just saying there's 1% goals, these tiny little goals. We've talked about this in the past on loads of these lives, which is setting yourself a tiny little goal that you can achieve. Once you achieve that tiny little goal, you can then improve your self-confidence, because you start trusting yourself to achieve the goals that you're trying to achieve. So yeah, that's it. Yeah, you've got these 1% that you're stepping forward to. People watching me, and I'm really, it's horrible, isn't it? I don't think I can come out here anymore. This is ridiculous, because I'm so nervous about people telling the police on me for standing at the children's play centre at 8 o'clock in the morning when there's no children around. filming a video. Isn't that annoying? Isn't that what an annoying world we live in, when that is a constant concern for me and an anxiety for me now? Anyway, there you go. Joy is joy, joy. Hello, Joy, my auntie Joy, by the way. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, just these tiny little goals to move yourself forward. And so Evan was talking about these kind of 3 steps, which is, what is your 1%? What are your 1% goals that you can do, you can set yourself? Recognise that your first attempt at anything is going to be rubbish. So he quite cleverly talks about how, and I've talked about this before, about your success is built on the bricks, built with the bricks of failure. But he talks about how your brain, you kind of expect you want your first attempt at something to be perfect, and that's why you're not starting it. That's why you're not taking your first attempt. You're expecting yourself to be as good as the best person in the world. And by the way, this is all me. I'm doing all of this stuff myself, or I'm not doing all this stuff myself. I'm taking a lesson myself. I'm teaching myself a lesson here. One of the reasons I do these lives is to teach myself what I should be doing better as well, whilst I'm also teaching you guys as well. So you expect yourself to be like really this good. You expect your first version to be this good, and of course it never is. And the reason you don't try is because you think, oh, it'll never be this good. I'm not perfect. I haven't got all the right equipment. I haven't. If I'm going to do a video, for example, I haven't got the right equipment. I'm not staying in the right place. I haven't got the right thing to look at and all that kind of stuff. All nervous. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. Change. I'm not going to talk in public because I haven't got my speech perfect. I'm not going to ask that girl out because I don't know what I'm going to say to her. All that kind of stuff. But recognise that that's where you're expecting it to be. But then when you have a go at it, you'll find that when you look back, you go, actually, it was pretty right. Even, you kind of have this inflated sort of expectations. Right, I'm going to have a go at this, and it's going to be fantastic. And you gear yourself up. It's going to be great. And then you do it, and it's not quite as good as you thought it was going to be. You look back and you go, oh, that was really rubbish. And then that takes away your self-confidence. That takes away your willingness to try again, and it breaks your momentum. Hello, Beverly. Thank you very much indeed. Yes, exactly. Perfect. She says perfectionism kills creativity and presumably that's self-confidence you were going to say there. And success is built on our failures. Yes, good point. That's exactly. So we expect it to be, okay when we do the first thing, and then when we actually do it, we find out it's actually rubbish, and then that steals our momentum because we go, oh well, that was just useless, wasn't it? Oh, no. What's the point of trying again? Because if it's going to be that bad, I'm not even going to bother in the future, and that's just a terrible scenario to find yourself in. You don't want to do that. So you have to recognise that first one is going to be terrible. You might say to yourself, I'm going to do press-ups. I'm going to start doing press-ups, and you kind of think, I want to be able to do 100 press-ups. Obviously, you're not going to be able to do 100 press-ups for the first time, and you think, right, okay, tomorrow morning I'm going to do 10. And you start and you do like 2 and you go, well, that was just useless, wasn't it? I can't even get to 10. Oh, how useless am I? I'm terrible. What's the point in bothering trying anymore? And then the next day you don't try. Whereas if you recognise that, okay, 10 was maybe too much of a goal, but you did 2, so that's a success. That's a positivity. You can go, yay, I did 2. That's fantastic. Let's see if I can do 2 again tomorrow. Brilliant. Now I've done 2 the next day. And then can you do 2 the next day? And then can you do 2 the next day? And then maybe by the end of the week you can do like 5 and then maybe by the end of next week you can do 10, but if you keep doing that every single day, by the end of the year you probably will be able to do 100. Maybe not, but you know what I'm saying. It's an incremental. What's your 1% best, 1%, you stack these things up and it gets better and better over time. And then what you do, we want to tie in your self-confidence, as Beverly was saying earlier here, your self-confidence and your self-worth into your actions and not your results. So the fact that you took action, that's the thing you should be celebrating. The fact that I did even the 1 press up. Tomorrow morning I'm going to do 10 press ups. You get up and you do 1 press up and you go, and you feel like that's a disappointment. But no, you got up, you did 1 press up. That's a success. That's a good thing. You did the 1 press up. That's great. That's a step in the right direction. It's a step along the path. Talking about the Camino thing that I always talk about. What's the first step? Book a flight. I haven't walked the Camino yet, but I booked a flight. I got to the first day. Remember the story I told you about my first day on the Camino? I actually got a blister running through the airport to try and catch my flight because a bus was delayed in London getting to Stansted. Yes, exactly. Take messy action and celebrate it. Actually, who said that? Yes, that's right. Somebody, a lady called Rachel Bell, who is an online coach thing, said instead of taking massive action, why don't you take messy action? So there you go. That's that one. Instead of taking massive action. Here you go. Here's the man who picks up the lovely rubbish for me. I piled it up for you. Look. As the man picking up the rubbish. What a lovely man. Look at this beautiful job he's doing here. Fantastic. I was talking about this every day, morning I come out here and the rubbish is on the floor. I can't understand why they can't just walk 50 yards to the bin over there, or even the 20 yards to the bin on the other side of the bushes there. It's ridiculous. There you go. But on the other hand, if they did that, they'd put you out of a job. But then that's kind of that's counterintuitive kind of logic, isn't it, really? But anyway, there you go. What's the 1%? Tidying up the park. What a lovely man here. Anyway, so all good stuff. Right, so there you go. Tie your self-confidence and your self-worth to the actions and not the results. So you're not looking at how well you did or how successful the thing was. You're looking at what actions did I take? Did I actually take an action towards my goal? Walking on the Camino, what was the first thing? Oh, I was talking about that, wasn't I? I got a blister going through the airport because our bus was delayed getting to the airport. And then when we finally got to Saint-Jean in the south of France, and we were the first day is walking over the mountains in the Pyrenees. And I said to the locals, I said, what happens if I get like halfway up the mountain and I can't finish the walk? I can't get to the albergue, the hostel that we got to stay in. And they said, don't walk over the mountain if you've got a problem with your foot. Walk around the mountain. So that first day, the action was to walk over the mountains with everybody else. And I couldn't do that. I had to walk around the mountain. I had to choose to go around the mountain. But I had to see that as a success because I still got to the albergue the next day and I saw people who I'd met in Saint-Jean the day before. I slightly cheated, admittedly, because walking around the mountain is a much, much longer walk. And I would never have made it in the one day, especially since I left late as well. So I did take a taxi for the last, 2 kilometres or whatever it was. But that meant that I had somewhere to stay that night, and I managed to stay with people who I'd already met the day before. So that was kind of cool. And they all said, "Oh my God, you made it over the mountain!" And I was like, "Well, I made it around the mountain." But I hear, yes, I'm at the top of the mountain. Fantastic. So yeah, that was that's my little story about my Camino and my 1%. So it's about recognizing that the action is more important than the results, and celebrate the action rather than necessarily the results. Celebrate the results as well. No about that. But don't beat yourself up if you don't get the result you were trying to take, so long as you took the action towards the result. What you can beat yourself up about is not taking action in the first place. Is making excuses for not doing the thing. I've talked before about how reasons are why you didn't see something in the past. Excuses are why you're choosing not to do things in the future. And you have the choice. You have the power. Take back your power. Give yourself the choice and take the choice to do the thing that you want to be doing going forward. So, yes, and I need to listen to this myself because I've been setting myself daily goals and not even attempting them because they're too big. So I need to narrow those down and find much, much smaller goals for myself that I can potentially achieve, or at least have a go at achieving. And then I can reward myself and feel more self-confidence in the fact that I've taken a step in the right direction. Jordan Peterson in the video talks about there's a stack of papers on the side of my desk that he doesn't want to address, and it's been there for weeks and weeks. He doesn't want to go through it, and he said, well, how about my first step is just to take that pile of paper and put it in front of my desk and just stare at it for 15 seconds, because that's an action, and it's essentially a result as well. And then you can feel, okay, I've achieved. I put the paper in front of me. Then you put the paper back, take maybe the first thing off that list and say, right, what am I going to do with this one thing? Here's my 1%. There's a stack of 100 papers, 1%, take the first piece of paper off there and deal with it. What am I going to do with this deal thing? That's it. That's your first step. You've done it. You feel success in yourself. You say, yes, great, I did that one piece of paper. I did that one thing. Right, tomorrow I can do another piece of paper. You might find yourself going, well, I did that one. Maybe I can do this second one. Maybe I can do this third one. And then you've overachieved. And how fantastic would that be, that you've overachieved in your results? So, in your actions. Overachieved in your actions, not your results. You can overachieve in your results as well, of course. And that's fantastic. You should definitely celebrate that as well. But the most important thing is to tie your self-confidence and your self-worth to your actions, not the results, because the actions are more important. Particularly important in things like sales, for example. If you're knocking on doors selling stuff, for example, and we all know that not everybody's going to say yes when you knock on their door and ask them to sell stuff. This is a practical example of something. But you know that if you knocked on enough doors, somebody's going to say yes eventually, right? Depending on what you're selling, obviously. If you're selling something that's actually useful to people, selling a kitchen sponge, for example, eventually you'll knock on a door where they haven't got a kitchen sponge, or their kitchen sponge has just died and they've just thrown it in the bin. And they go, oh yeah, great, I'll have that. It's 50p and I don't have to go to the shop to buy a new one. Brilliant. So you know that so eventually somebody's going to say yes, but you have to knock on enough doors. So you have to recognise that the action is knocking on the door and asking people if they want a sponge, not selling a sponge. Yeah, so there you go. The action is knock, knock, knock. Do you need a sponge? No. Great. Thanks very much. That's an action done. I'm rewarding myself for the one action that I've done, which is knocking on the door and asking them if they wanted a sponge. That's it. Now I need to do the same thing because I want to knock on your door and say, do you need some help with your mindset and your mental health? Great. And I want people to say, yes, I do need some help, John. Please, can you help me? And then I can go, great, it's going to be £10 or £100 or £1,000 or whatever it's going to be to help you, depending on what help you need. Then, yeah, that's cool. Good. Right, I have no idea how much time I've taken. The clock says 13 minutes on here, but I started it late, so I'm not sure about that. But hopefully that was useful information, and it was a lovely sunny Friday morning. I'm going to take this 1%. I had a really fantastic talk last night with a lady called Karina from Denmark. We were talking about morning routines, but of course, for me, actually, it's the evening routine that's causing me the biggest problem at the moment. So I'm working on that now, and I will tell you more about that tomorrow, maybe. We'll see. Sending you all love. Mwah. Remember to do your candles, your 5 candles, to achieve your 1% throughout the day. Take care, guys. Love you all. Bye-bye for now.